Okay, so we've got that good. So Joy Morales is here today. I recently met her because she is a whiz with AI. And in particular, today she's talking about AI search. Is your website ready? And Joy tells us how AI search is really transforming how customers discover businesses online. Your website, of course, is the heart of all of that. And here's a really key point. I'm sure she'll go into this in her presentation. AI-driven platforms don't just rank sites when they look at them. They analyze the content, the context, and the intent of the site to deliver direct answers. So if your website is not structured for AI search, it could be overlooked entirely. So in this session, she's going to tell us what AI search means for our small business website, changes we need to make, ensure that our site is optimized and so it's found and featured in AI generated results. She's even offering us a free AI search readiness scan, folks, exclusively for us. So don't let that drop. And just a tiny bit about Joy, I won't read quite the whole thing. She was in the education field for over 20 years, working from preschools to high schools to adult online high school and a vocational high school. She got her bachelor's from Michigan State, go Big Ten, in communications, and her master's in educational research from Western Governors. Joy is the ultimate shiny penny chic. If it's new, she wants to learn about it, try it, and then share it. She's an early adopter of all things AI, has captivated her ever since. It meant a pivot in her own business. And it's the beginning of this AI journey. Why does she use AI? How does she use AI in every possible way? And she loves to cheer for Michigan State Spartan fans, and I'll stick with my team of University of Wisconsin. So take it away, Joy.
Awesome. All right, let me share. That coming through?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Just
Okay.
you want to do the from the beginning or something, though. We're seeing the other slides on the left still.
I don't. Okay, there we go.
Yep, now we're good. Yeah. Good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so how is AI changing search, and why does it matter? Well, most of you guys know because you're in the marketing space in one way or the other, 75% of people never go past the first page. By 2026, 30% of web browsing will all be done through AI-powered search tool, and we're already seeing that number increase. I mean, I'm astonished how much it's been embraced already. Over 100 million users engage with AI chat tools like ChatGPT every week. Last week, I just read a statistic that 20 million people are on the paid program of ChatGPT. And if you think it's only been dropped 2 years ago, to have that type of it being embraced just shows how things are changing. Why small businesses are invisible right now is because SEO, it's hard to make a shift or make an impact. But AI search gives you small business owners the ability to change that because AI search is looking for answers, not rankings. So we're going to talk about what that means and how to be the answer when people are using AI search. It allows you to show up if it's helpful, relevant, and visible. So if you think about SEO being locked down now, it looks like authority, backlinks, big big money, big players for Google. To get there, it takes time, money, and ongoing optimization. But what's great with AI search is it summarizes and recommends. It's looking for a specific answer to a specific question. And if you provide clear, current, and trusted information, it can pick you. And that's why it's such a game changer for small business because AI doesn't necessarily care if you're a big business or a small business. It wants you to be a credible, trustworthy, and provide the best answer to a search query. So this is where you can shine. And what's great is nobody's taken up a lane. because AI search is so new. So if you think about traditional SEO and compared to AI search, SEO ranks, AI search recommends. Keywords is how SEO is used, and AI search is all about the conversation. AI loves natural language. It's not looking for a keyword, it's looking for human conversation. SEO is static, where AI search is dynamic. And what I mean by that is AI is continually searching, so you need to be continually updating your information. It's looking for changes in your website continually, like on a 90-day cycle. So for people who have a static website, to get into AI search game, you need to be continually updating your website. So this is how AI thinks. It's trained to summarize and solve. So if you think about, you put in a query, and we're going to go through a couple examples in a minute, but when you put in a query, it wants to find the answer to that. It's going to look through everything, summarize it, and then provide you with the best answer to your search. It doesn't just look at websites, it looks at everything. So if you have an active social media, if you're active on Google My Business, if you do videos, if you do blogs, whatever content you're putting out, AI is looking for it. And it validates your experience, your credibility, and your trustworthiness. So even though your website is the hub, your everywhere you put out content is available for AI. This is how it works. It favors businesses that use plain, helpful language. So it really is a natural language consumer. It's not looking for you to use stuff keywords. That's a detriment. It wants plain answers to the questions. It's if you're active on social media and local listings, you get rewarded for that. And if your content is fresh and relevant, you get rewarded for that as well. So I wanted to give a couple of examples. So for real estate, if someone says, I'm looking for the best realtor in Denver, SEO is going to rank you through keywords. It's going to look at listing sites and directories, and you're going to be seen. And what I mean by being seen is it might list 10 websites, but then you have to go do the work and look up those websites or look up those people. AI, if the query is who helps first-time homebuyers that knows the best neighborhoods and the best schools in Denver, if you've put out content that says, um, here's the best neighborhood for kids 8, 10, and 12, and here's why. There's a park down the street, there's a skate park around the block, there's great schools that have been rated, however they rate schools, 1 through 5, or 8, I guess they rate it by grade now. And you put that out in your content, that's going to give the AI information that's not limited to listings. So you're using your expertise as a realtor to show your expertise. And it'll look at AI will look at just not your blogs if you put out a blog, but across your social media. So let's say in social media you posted that a school in this neighborhood was just ranked, got an A. You're being very specific in your social media platform that provides educational value. AI loves that. And to put content out on Google, LinkedIn, on your website, everywhere you can that's consistent across the board, then you're going to be chosen. So there's a difference between being seen and being chosen. This You have to do the work. The answer is delivered to you. For a financial planner, if someone searches retirement planner near me, SEO, share bios, services, backlinks, it drives traffic. For AI, if the question is, how much should I save if I'm self-employed? And the content you put out is a blog on, if you're self-employed, this is what you should consider for savings. If you put out a social media post that self-employed people need to save by and large X amount of money, and here's the reasons why. Or if you put out a blog of concerned about being self-employed and not saving for retirement, here's 3 tips to do that. If you put out posts that say one of the big problems of being self-employed is not saving enough money for retirement. Those are the type of real answers that you can put out that would AI search would find helpful in trying to answer this question. Share stories, FAQs, huge, huge thing to put on your website in individual topics. It's not big overview, it's small personalization. And you're convincing the AI that you're trustworthy, experienced, and knowledgeable. And having stories, having a lot of FAQs, putting out blogs is convincing the AI that you're the solution for this question. Consistent, clear, and complete. If you think about making everything personal to one person, you're going to get a bonus for that. It drives trust. So for an HVAC, for a trades guy, AI, AC repair person near me, same. Listing services, get directions, be visible. AI search, if you are put in the search, who can fix my AC on a Sunday in Denver? If you have your hours listed, pricing, response time, and areas, you get bonus points for that. If you're active on Google and Facebook, you get points for that. You'll be recommended. Just adding in if someone needs help on a Sunday and you've answered that question in some way, some form, relatively lately, AI is going to reward you for that. So what you need to do now, use clear, helpful language across your website and all social media. They're not, AI is looking for experts, but they're not looking for tech. Add FAQs that speak to real questions. Find out what your top consumers are asking and then answer those in FAQ and keep adding to it. Be consistent across social media platforms. Blog, blog, blog. It used to be blog was the new thing, then it died out, but now every blog gives fresh content to AI and it gives more reasons for you to be trusted. Blogging on individual questions is a great way to convince AI that you should be the answer to the query. And then stay active. AI notices everything all the time. What if you don't? If you don't, people are integrating AI into their, not just their workflow, but into their personal life. And I want to give an example about this. A friend of mine was searching for a coffee shop near the Broadmoor. And the first answer that came up was the typical company that had SEO, had a website, did social media. They did all the bells and whistles. That was the first response. The second response was a Facebook post that the coffee shop in the Broadmoor posted. And it said, open for coffee. Here's our special today. Come see us. No website, no SEO, but AI picked up that it was open and it was in the Broadmoor. Cannot believe it can get down to that level without any other content being out there. So as we more adapt AI into our workflow, into our personal lives and daily lives, if you're not marketing to AI, you're not going to be part of the conversation, and your competitors will. So you don't want to be left out of the AI conversation, because planning for small business, it's not today, it's the end of the year, it's the next 18 months, it's 2 years down the road. It's using a tool that will give you an exact answer to your question. And that's why AI search is so important, because as people adapt to using their phone with AI and putting in a question, that's how it's going to be down the line. And now's the open lane for AI search, because nobody has owned it yet. It's so new. One of the things that you can do is really build out your website for an AI information hub. And if I have questions on that later, I'll talk about that some more. But this is the new search reality. What we do is MP Marketing Group is my business. We create videos with AI that are information based. We also have an AI friendliness scan tool that I built with a software engineer, which you guys are welcome to scan your website. We use 10 different aspects of your website, and then we score it. There's never 100%, because AI is changing all the time. So it's a constant getting better, getting better, getting better. And then we provide AI search services to teach businesses how to be seen in the AI world. So our goal is to help businesses be AI search ready, not just AI, but for humans too. We create content around that. We perform audits for your strategy and visibility, and we position you to be the best answer in the industry. So if you're interested in learning more, please reach out, because we want to help businesses be seen in this framework. Just email me. I will run your website. I'll get your email address, your URL. I'll run the scan and give you a report. If you want more information, it's a great baseline for you to see where you're at in AI search. And I don't like presenting when I can't see anybody's face. So if you guys have questions, please. Wait, I can't hear you, Joyce.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Joy. I've been monitoring the chat here, and I see we have a couple of questions. I'm going to just take them in order. So we have Mary Gall asks, if we are using chat for our content, you meaning like on social media, right, Mary? Or your website, wherever.
Even on website and those kind of
Yeah.
things, yeah.
Will it, meaning AI, recognize the content as generated by chat and favor it more or not? So
Okay, so I have a question on that. If you're using ChatGPT, are you using custom instructions to make it sound like you? Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if you're not using custom instructions, please do, so it's your voice. What AI favors is, and there's a couple things. Put in the area that you serve, because AI search is looking for location as well. So if you're creating posts, say you serve in this area, whether it's Denver or whatever, wherever you serve, always put that in somewhere in your blogs and your social media posts. You won't be favored because you're using AI, but the ability to make your content fresh and updated is the benefit you're going to get from that.
So if we serve, like many of us do, we can work with clients anywhere in the United States because we're virtual, right? So do you can serve virtually across the United States or something like that?
Yep, and I would put it in hashtags too. Put it in the content, but also leverage the hashtags.
Okay.
And also on your website, put where you're based out of
Hmm.
everywhere,
Yeah.
not
I
just
see.
on your homepage, but on every page.
Does putting things in quotes make any difference?
It does, if you're quoting statistics, that's a great point. If you're quoting statistics, studies, case studies, absolutely, that's another bonus point because you're showing your expert knowledge by pulling in resources. Deep domain expertise is really going to become prevalent over this year and into the future. You're convincing the AI why they should choose you as opposed to somebody else. So the more you can show your deep domain expertise, the more benefit you're going to get. And one of the ways to do that is to show statistics.
So
And
Lori Dubois had a question. So does this mean it largely depends on the plain language the searcher is using more than the plain language on our website? Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit at all, Lori? Do you want to come off mute?
Yeah, I'll come off mute. What I was thinking when you were giving those examples is like a normal Google search too. A lot of it depends on the sophistication of the user, right? And like, in other words, if they have a long tail, detailed search question, they're going to get better results than if they just say, because like you said, like best plumber in Denver versus is there a plumber who works on Sundays or whatever. It's like, has that transition really started where people are literally using chat to do those kinds of more detailed questions? Does that make sense? Do you know
yeah,
what I'm?
and I would say, okay, so if you're using Google, this is the advantage of both. So if you're using Google to do a search, but a long search, they're pulling from everything, their maps, their data, and Gemini is going to respond to that. Chat GPT, the advantage with Chat GPT is 20 million people are paying for that. So they're using it a lot. So they're not necessarily going to jump out of ChatGPT to do a Google search. They're going to stay within
Oh, because
ChatGPT
they're already there.
because they're already there. And that number is only going to increase. So 100 million people use it every single day. 20 million people pay for it. As they adapt it into their workflow, they're not going to jump from place to place. They're just going to stay in ChatGPT.
Good.
So,
So it's kind of an
Good.
evolution of user
yeah.
behavior.
And the reason why it's so important to do it now, and the reason why I talk about it so much is because if you get in the, not necessarily as a response, but you're leveling up your game, it's going to be harder to knock you off. So that's the game between the big. So I'm working with my personal injury attorney client here in Colorado Springs, and I am pushing him so hard because Frank Azar, who spends $10 million on advertising a year, my guy doesn't do that. But Frank Azar, and if anybody has him as a relative or an attorney, I'm just using him as an example. My guy can catch up if he blogs, if he does social media every day. I do an interview with him on cases that come up. So I'm feeding the AI all this deep domain information where Frank Azar might be advertising on TV. No benefit, minimal benefit. I'm pushing heavy content. So when somebody searches for a personal injury attorney in ChatGPT that exists experience, that has won cases at the Supreme Court, that has done this, has done that, my guy's going to bubble up because I've laid the foundation. I don't know if Frank Azar has or not, but my guy can compete with a $10 million advertising budget.
So Jonathan Kastner asked, is blog content more highly valued than a social media post?
Absolutely. It absolutely is because it's content heavy. Okay.
Okay.
But I also want to say for the blogs, have a title and have subheadings. It's not going to read everything, it's going to scan everything. So you have
Gotcha.
a powerful headline, and then you have your first bullet point, have a subheading, your second point, paragraph or point, have another subheading, because it's verifying that you know what you say, and it does that with subheadings. Now, content's important too, but make sure you have your headings. Social media verifies um, verifies who you are. So you're not going to get any brownie points if you put a quote up, a daily quote, or happy day, or have a great day. No value. An educational post has value. So think about how you can educate your potential client through your social media, and um, you'll get points for that, but not like a blog. Also,
Mhm.
if you do an ebook, if you do a guide, those are things that you get points for that you need to put on your website. Think about your website. It's the hub. AI goes out everywhere and looks, but the hub is really your library of your expertise. So have a place on your website that you're building a library, an expertise library, because AI is going to go there and then it'll verify, and it verifies through different things. But your website should be your library hub of all things. It's your living, breathing content library.
And I just want to put a plug in for Shannon, who helped me to put a tab called, I think it's Learn More, right, Shannon? And under that, I have my blog. Under that, I have my FAQs on LinkedIn. So they're all grouped together there. But Susan asked, isn't it still important to link social media to said blog post for backlinks, or doesn't that matter with AI?
You know, I say yes, it matters. AI really likes local. So having that element to it is also important, because right now we're kind of in a vacuum, and it's a race for professionals to get their stuff seen. So as long as that race is going on, yes, it's important.
There's also a question from Susan. How long before AI pretty much takes over SEO? Or should we be thinking both traditional SEO and Google type stuff as well as AI? So that's kind of a related questions.
You know, SEO is important because there's always going to be things that people want to look at for options. So I don't know the best dentist. I might want to look them up 3 times. However, you have to think about the convenience of an answer. So we're a convenient society. If I put in a long query of, I want a plumber that has 20 years of experience, that knows how to work on something that will I don't have to be 3 weeks on the calendar to get here. I need it serviced in 24 hours. That's a perfect thing for Chat GPT, because it's going to scan their website, their everything. And if somebody has in their website that they can be there by the end of the day, that for sure is the answer. Because how many plumbing companies do that? Most plumbers are booked out for 3 weeks. If somebody puts on their website, we can have somebody out there within 24 hours, that is the absolute answer. And you're not going to look at 10 others because your toilet's overflowing and your basement's flooded. That's the kind of the difference between, if you have you know exactly what you want and you can put it in a question, you're going to get an answer to that. If you're shopping around and you don't know exactly, then Google will give you 3 or 4 options that you might want to investigate further.
I have a question about when you said earlier, continually updating my website. I feel like I don't do that enough, but what is that, like every day? Is it twice a week, or what does
No,
continually look like?
it's shown that AI kind of scans on a 90-day cycle. I'm not saying that's not gonna change, because AI changes all the time, but right now it's on a 90-day cycle. This gives you time to incorporate how to update your website in a regular routine. I think it's going to get down to like a 30-day cycle. just because how AI is learning. It's constantly learning. So think now 90 days, think by the end of the year, maybe 45 days, think by mid next year, you need to be updating it every 30 days because it- your competition is going to be doing that. And
Mhm.
you want to get up top and stay up top.
Yeah, do people like Shannon or Mary Weist or Jay or anybody else that works directly with websites have anything else to add to that? I'm just curious. To the matter of frequency of posting.
The one thing I'll say is I still am hearing best practices. And I think it's really important to kind of ground in on the best practices. And so we create a blog so we can use that for social media posts, right? So that's that consistency that Joy was talking about. So we can still kind of look at one thing for all of it. And I mean, what web developer, we love it when you want an updatable FAQ section, right? We love it like that. So I think that's what a web developer would want. So yeah, so I think to have the FAQ and then just add a question or two, right? To write a blog, to to update. It's kind of, I feel like it's just best practices is when you add a product, you should add a product. When something happens, you should let people know. So I like to try to ground in that because I love AI, but I still think it's about being exciting and yeah, speaking plain language, not keyword padding. Even with SEO for Google, I don't recommend keyword padding kind of thing. You don't want to be nonsensical anyway. And I would say though, I still want that pitch for Google. I do, just because Joy's absolutely right, but we really want to, we don't want to abandon those best practices. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but Gemini is throwing up more of a longer answer. So there is a competition. Google's going to figure this out too. It's all going to be changing. So I like Joy, just the best practices is what she's asking us to lay out, right? Just start really creating content, thinking about what you're doing. That's what I would say. We should all have places on our website we're updating with regularity. It's just
Actually,
good.
I'm going to jump in and go ahead, Shannon and Jay, if you have something else to add. But Catherine McGill had a question that I just see come up. For the library on your website, should you embed social media such as YouTube videos or podcast episodes rather than just linking to them? So embed the YouTube video, embed the podcast episode rather than just a link. Can you speak to that?
Great question. I would definitely embed it. And I love the idea of incorporating video into your website. It doesn't, and here's the tip about video, it doesn't watch the video yet, but that's going to come. It does read the description. So when you do a video, have a really tight description of the video. Putting it in your website, even though AI doesn't listen to the video, it shows that it's there. For Perplexity, when you put in a query in Perplexity, it brings up the video along with the answers. So that tells me that's where it's going. There will be a time where AI can scan a video. We're not there yet, but having a video showing that you do videos is just another piece to the puzzle to show that you're credible.
Well, this may be a related question. I think Susan asked, does AI search deem images, alt tags, alt tags at all? Images to be important or inconsequential at the moment?
Well, if you have a caption on your image that's valuable, then I would say that image is valuable. If you don't have a caption that's valuable, I would say images are less important.
Makes sense, just like with regular search.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, we have time for a couple more questions. I'm so glad you allowed. I told you, Joey, we'd have a lot of questions in this crowd. Do we have any more people haven't had a chance to ask a question yet? Have like to bring something up?
Joy, what is perplexity?
Perplexity is another AI tool, and they market that. Well, they don't market it. It is as kind of the research tool. Now, ChatGPT has added deep research onto their tool. If you're a pro user, I think you get 10 scans a month. Perplexity pulls case studies, sites, sources, just as a matter of course of business. Their platform is $20 a month too. So it really goes into the research aspect. So you don't have to look for a source, they provide it. And
then,
if
by
you're
the
not,
Thank
way,
you.
go ahead.
and if
Susan
you're
asked you to
not,
follow up on the
oh, sorry.
caption or alt tag. I'm so sorry, but caption or alt tag, Susan, if you want to elaborate, because we were talking about the images, a caption or alt tag or both. So, or the alt tag is behind the scenes, right? Excuse my own ignorance, right? So for the image. So the caption presumably is what the public can just see it, right? Like this
Mhm.
picture of Joyce doing ABC or something.
Right.
Do you have both? Yes, the Google would read. I'm just looking at the question, right?
The advantage that Google has, because I wanted to respond to what Mary said, the advantage that Google has is the years and years and years of data that they have, the maps, the other applications that they offer. They've been behind, they are behind the game a little bit because of their stance when AI first came out. Because of the powerhouse that they are and the data that they have, it'll be interesting to see how they evolve in the next year, because in the beginning they were like, oh, we're going to be, I forget what the ethical, whatever, have integrity, I think is what they said. So they got behind. They will catch up. They will figure it out. Their answers will be comparable to ChatGPT. What we don't know is how long that's going to take. So what that means for images, I would say AI reads it. If you want to put tags on it, I don't think that hurts.
Mhm.
Can I say something about that, Joyce?
Yeah, please.
Alt tags aren't just for Google, they're also for accessibility. So
Right.
you really do need to put image text in there until AI can actually describe the image to somebody who's a screen reader or is blind. You do need to put a description of the image in there as well.
Good point. Good, really a very important, timely point. And also Catherine's asking, what are the best resources for staying up to date? How AI is selecting answers that is evolves over time. Good luck with that one. Do you have any thoughts there?
Well, so I'll give you this as an example. So we built this AI website, AI search friendliness tool last year. It took us 8 months probably to build it. We meet on Saturdays. This Saturday, we're doing another upgrade to it because of how AI search is changing. I I read, I get probably 10 newsletters a day on AI. I read most of them every day. I take an hour every day to stay up to date on it.
Wow.
I like ChatGPT deep research because I have good conversations with that. It and I don't want to sound crazy, so you guys don't think I'm crazy. I name my AI. Okay? Her name is Sage. Do you guys do that?
I know some other people do.
Okay. So I spend a lot of time naming her. My answers are better. I'll go into a deep search on ChatGPT and talk to her about it. She knows to keep me up to date on things that change, but I also play them against each other. Like I have Claude, I have Perplexity, and I have ChatGPT. Gemini, I'm thinking about starting to use because it's getting better. Grok, I've looked into too, but I play the three against each other to make sure I'm getting the most up-to-date information about how things are changing in search.
That could be a whole nother presentation, Joy. You know, these different types of AI tools.
Yeah.
I think that could be really helpful. We should schedule that for this summer or soon. And
Okay.
because I think that I know we're close to the top of the hour. I did want to put a plug in for myself, decided to fill I'm going to do a training I've been doing for a lot of the SHE chapters, the supporting hearts and enterprise leads group, SHE leads group. And it's about how to decide if you want to connect with someone on LinkedIn, and also some of the key settings on LinkedIn to look at as far as data privacy, visibility, and notifications. Basically, how to streamline your LinkedIn experience so you're not getting inundated with way too many notifications. So I'll be doing that next month, and I always like to have somebody whose LinkedIn I could use. So it makes it a little more interesting because then I ask them questions rather than asking myself questions. So Jonathan's going to do this for me at a live presentation I'm doing later this month for a different group, but because he's a good sport. So at any rate, somebody wants me to do it with them, use theirs as an example, then let me know. But that's what we're doing May 13th for this group. And so Joy, why don't you and I coordinate, maybe get you on like, I don't know, July, maybe give a little break. We've had 2 AIs in a row, so we probably, need a break. So otherwise,
I appreciate it so much.
oh, and
Joy.
hey, how about a huge round of applause for Joy? Wow. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. One of my favorite. Oh, such solid information, amazing questions. Such
Great
a dynamic time together. And I am recording it. So it'll be 2 of you. I feel like this one I might just try to get off by tonight. I don't usually turn it around that fast, but I feel like I want to at least get a LinkedIn post up. But then I'll get it out to all of you. Because it's so important that you can have a record of this. It's so, so good. I actually met Joy in another networking group and we really hit it off. And yeah, I just feel very blessed to have her in my life.
So if you guys want a free scan, just email me and I'll
Yeah.
get you I'll get the information and I'll run the scan and give you a report.
Okay. All right. So I think at this point, Laura, if you have a question, we will be Sonny, you can stick around. And if you want to ask a question, if other people have to leave, that's fine. But we'll wrap it up and I'll turn my recording off. That's what I want to say. There we go. Okay.